Hey guys, how's it going today? I hope you guys are all having a fantastic weekend so far. Well, you may not be watching this on the weekend, but I'm making this on the weekend. But here we got Dakota Thomas, and he's the founder of the Ace Elite, which is a wonderful community, has beautiful merch and everything like that. And I'll definitely be putting his the link in the description for him as well. So be checking that out, guys. So what's going on, man? What are you all about? Just gotta give a brief introduction yourself.
Yeah, just right now I'm about to work out. I'm all about lifestyle fitness. My name is Dakota, and I started this lifestyle fitness brand, about 2 years ago. And I'm just focused on really just changing people's lives by, helping people develop better habits for themselves and realizing there's no excuse. You just got to focus on yourself, hang around the right people, do the right thing, and you'll design the right life. So that's just what I've been up to lately. Just focusing on my fitness, my mental health, my lifestyle, better habits, just things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's absolutely wonderful to work on that and have something brand new for that. And especially with your brand and everything like that. You just recently, I know we were talking the other day, and you said you just recently started doing this like full time and everything like that.
Yeah.
How's that been?
It's been it's been glorious. I'm just going to say it's been glorious, because glory comes from overcoming obstacles. And as much as it's been tough, I now have 24 hours every single day to just work on it. So it's been great, man. I've had a lot of time to really focus on my conversations with people rather than, try to find time while I'm at my normal job and things like that. So it's been great, man. Selling has been going pretty well. Establishing the business, the foundation is stronger. Customer service is better, products are better. So I'm focused on growth, man. It's tough, but it's a part of the process. And when you're an entrepreneur, you're your own boss. So when you're scared and when you're stressed, all you have to think is, I'm just scared of myself. I'm just stressed because I don't trust myself enough. So the more that I work on my self-development, the easier it's getting. That's what I've been noticing.
Yeah, absolutely. And you definitely had to take a risk in order to start doing this and accomplishing it, tackling it, and take those necessary steps.
Yeah, risk for sure.
Come where you are right now, right? And
absolutely.
Full time with it, self-employed. What are the best two words that you could possibly have in a man's life? That's what I say.
I like that, man. That's a good quote.
Total freedom.
Total freedom, bro. Total freedom. On your own terms, on my own time, on my own dime.
Yeah, exactly. So that brings today's topic for this podcast, guys, is risks. What are risks? How do you take risks? What's the mindset behind risks? And what's like limiting factors? What is keeping people from taking necessary risks in their life to upgrade and other things like that? So right off the bat, we're going to start off with a framework of like, what is a risk in itself? How do you define that, and what are like examples of a risk? Mm-hmm. So, Dakota, what would you say is like your example of like a risk that? How would you define that in like your perception?
For sure. I mean, a risk for me is just something that is not 100%. It's like when you go to a store and you purchase something for $5. If I have $5, I will be able to purchase this one thing. A risk is something where it's up in the air, and you just have to go after it. You have to risk amount of energy or time or commitment or belief to just do something, stretch yourself outside your comfort zone to achieve anything. And like you said, since we were talking yesterday, everybody takes risks, small and big. And so, if you're already taking risks on yourself, waking up early, I'm risking myself to get in the car, to go to work. That's a risk. Driving a car, and people die every day, car accidents. That's a risk. And you just got to, being conscious about taking risks and being conscious about your own ability to trust yourself and to go out and do that risk is a huge trade, And if you take bigger risks, you get bigger reward. So that's a risk to me,
Absolutely. And see, a lot of things that people don't realize is that we take risks every day in our life, but we don't even realize. Like you were saying, get in the car, going across the street, every single day where you're doing something simple, or, going into a store at Walmart and buying something, you have that small little risk. And then not only that, but the biggest risk that people commonly see is like going to a casino, gambling, other things like that. But there's a difference in between something that is like a risk that is calculated versus a risk that is something that can actually build up in your life and build confidence and build success in your life. So those are two very, very different things. And that's something that people need to understand when it comes to taking risks and involving them inside of your life.
I like how you put it. That was good. That was really, really good. People need to see that too.
Yeah.
They need to realize that a risk is not always a gamble. It's an investment. If you look at risk as an investment, you're never gonna lose anything. You're gonna learn something, or you're gonna win something. But if you look at it like a gamble, you can't always trust on outside circumstances. Take a risk on yourself more than anything else. I truly believe that.
Yeah. And see, like, another thing too is because the way people they grow up in the US is, they have this mindset, okay, well, I'll just get a family, I'll just get a degree, I'll go through college, do all those things, and I'll just have a normal life, do this, et cetera, et cetera. But even when you're doing those things, okay, when you're finding someone that's going to be a future partner for you and you're going to have a family with, that is a risk in of itself. Starting a family is a risk.
True.
Going and getting that girlfriend is a risk. Going up to her, talking to her, that is a risk, okay? Going to college is a risk, okay? But see, people don't oftentimes view it as a risk just because that is something that happens in every single person's life. Now, there's going to be higher risk when you're doing certain activities because you can weigh the consequences of doing something versus something else, and you can see the benefits versus consequences, and you have to weigh those each other, and that's how you make a calculated risk. And then through finding out what that calculated risk is, then you can take action and make a plan accordingly to do that, right? So that is what people need to do, is make calculated risks in order to have success in their life. But if you don't, well, then it's just a risk and you have no plan, and well, you're going to fall back and regress in your life. So
yeah, true.
So what would you say is like the number one like limiting factor for somebody to be able to take any sort of risk in their life? What would you say that would be?
For me, it's really just a story or an emotion you want to feel or something bigger that you want to accomplish. Because then that's your factor, bro. I mean, that's the thing, is like the path isn't always certain, but the destination, what you want to achieve, you can feel that right now. Close your eyes, meditate, visualize it, feel it, experience it. Look it up on YouTube. Watch someone else experience it. Feel that. Because once you know what you want, you can start to take calculated risks that will lead you to that. But that's the emotion behind the risk. That's the motivation, the energy. It never changes. It just amplifies. It gets bigger. You're willing to take more risk off that same emotion. So that's for me.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to figure out what you want. And everybody always says, what do you want? Everyone's like, I don't know. Well, sit there and meditate, bro. The first part of self-development is internal. Then it's external. And so it's like, as within, so without. As above, so below. So it's wisdom, bro. And that's why I feel like most of society doesn't take risks, because they're all focused on the outside. Why does Kim Kardashian have trillions of dollars, right? Why do these artists have all these Lamborghinis? They can't see it. They're like, oh, it's because of the music. No, bro. It's because they position themselves internally first to say, I'm confident I can make music. Then they make the music. Then it makes them confident. Then they get noticed. Then they get the record deal. Then they make the money. Then they can show it off. So it's a process, bro. You can't just look at someone and be like, oh, I'll never achieve that. Well, you're not willing to go through the process. So you just gotta think about something bigger. What's your purpose? What's your vision? I'm 26. I've been on this path since 18. So that's 8 years of time that I've been focused on the same emotion, and I'm just developing every day, bro. And I'm ahead of so many people just because I'm at where I'm at in my mind. I'm at where I'm at in my spirit. And people just need to realize that it's not about how it looks on the outside. You just got to take that risk inside, and then over time you'll see the results outside, just like working out.
Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree with that, man. Because like one of the biggest problems in today's society is that we have almost this kind of thing where it's like an identity crisis. People don't necessarily know who they are, what they want to do. And oftentimes people can go into trouble. Again, this is with understanding what a calculated risk is, because they'll just go into the college because that's what they've been influenced to do, and they just kind of do what they're told going along it without questioning themselves first and really understanding really what they want to do in their life. What do they want to become? What do they want to fulfill? What type of legacy do they want to leave behind? And if they don't answer any of those questions, well, then guess what? Then they're going to be left behind, and they're just going to be what are sheep. They're going to be sheep. They're going to be led to the slaughter, for example.
Yeah, speak it up.
And it's very figurative of speech because the slaughter represents somebody dying on the inside, right? So their life is very unfulfilling, very unfulfilling. Now, there are some individuals that are okay with, doing whatever they are doing in their day-to-day jobs or 9 to 5 or whatever. Great, cool, that's wonderful. Cool for you guys. But as far as the people that are questioning themselves, questioning like what is their purpose, what is their identity, all those things like that, really sit and think about those things before you make any type of decision with your life. Because when it comes to something, you need to find a path, like make a complete roadmap specifically on what that person is. Like one of the mindset trainings that I've gone through myself is making a Wikipedia page about yourself, of what it looked like and what you left being dead and deceased, what people remember about you, what type of legacy did you leave, and what type of impact did you have on people, and what were they learning, what did you accomplish, all those things. So that way you can sit every single morning and you can take a quick look at that, and you can look at your affirmations and then follow that. Because subconsciously, as you are looking at each and every single day, that is the identity that you are going to form, because you are going to constantly say those things. And the things that you constantly say are then going to become actions. And then through those actions, you are then going to pick up those beliefs. And through those beliefs, you are then going to see that come into your life. So it is 100% what you need to do in terms of finding yourself, finding what you want to do, and then taking that risk that is going to put you in a better position in your life. Because otherwise, you're going to run into complacency. And there's a lot of reasons why complacency happens, but to me, it's a cancer. It's a cancer.
It is. It really, really is. It drains you. It makes you compare yourself to other people. It's and the wrong people too. The 99%, not the 1%. Complacency. It's not where you want to be. It's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't know. Maybe like was there ever a time, like, Dakota, that you kind of like felt maybe like complacent, maybe with your like progress or where you were like comfortable?
Always, bro. Always. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
I'm not perfect at all. I have a lot of confidence, but it comes from me making so many mistakes in my life and me having to face myself and pick myself back up and just keep moving forward. I've been smacked, bro. I've seen the worst of life, bro. Like, I've seen poverty, death, murder. I've been robbed. I've been betrayed. I've been backstabbed. I have every reason to make my heart cold. But I honestly look at that as complacency. I look at complacency as you reacted to life to a point that you became what life wanted you to be rather than what you wanted life to be. And so my favorite quote that I create for myself, whenever I get stuck in complacency, this is what I tell myself. I say, it's not about what I want. It's not about what I expect out of life. It's about what life expects out of me. If you can flip the script and make you the main player, the main controller, you'll realize that your life is not where it needs to be because you are not where you need to be. You got to look at everything like, I don't have what I want because I don't deserve it. You can't just walk around life and be like, I deserve this, I deserve that, I deserve that, because you're going to be waiting for it, and then that's complacency. You're complacent in your progress. You're complacent in your potential. You should never, ever be complacent in your progress. Ever be complacent in your potential. I'm not saying give yourself a pat on the back. Like, yeah, go ahead, man. Make yourself proud sometimes. But when I fall into complacency, that's financially, bro. That's like with my girlfriend. That's complacency with my position in life, how much fun I'm having. Like, I fall into that all the time. I'm always like, maybe I'm too stressed. I need to start having more fun. I'm complacent in my work. I need to start having more fun in my life. Or I'm complacent with my girlfriend. I need to start making her happy so that she feels more fulfilled for being with me. That's the best thing you can do is figure out where you're complacent and then change it. And then, oh, I'm complacent here, change it. And then next thing you know, everything's like a DNA strand, everything's working together, and your life is just improving. But no one wants to take out the trash. No one wants to make their bed. That's the complacency, though.
Yeah. So do you think, for those people that do feel like complacent with their lives, maybe they have like girlfriend, they have a decent amount of money, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. What do you kind of recommend for them to take them out of that spot of complacency? Would you say external motivation in terms of what you can give to others?
You know what I would say, dude, is, even wherever you're at right now, even if your girlfriend is a 10, even if you have $1 million in your bank account and you smashed your goals from where you wanted to be 5-10 years ago, even if you're at that spot, which I know all of us really aren't, you got to think, what if you died right now? You died right now. Is this really the impact you think you can make? Or could you use everything you have? You can use your girlfriend and have a baby and have a family. You can use your money and build a business, build an empire. You got to think about what you can do now. Everything is resource. So how can you use your resource to make an impact, to help other people acquire resource, to make other people, know your story while you're still alive, help them understand their story. We're all on the same path, but just, different journeys. So I just feel like, what can you do to help someone else? What's a business that you can create to help serve somebody else? What's a business you can create to create a product that can help serve someone else? What can you do to serve? If you're not religious, then you got to really look at it as, you're a human being, have an experience. How can you help another human being have a better experience? Because that's how businesses thrive. Every business on the planet is here because it helps people with their daily life. Even Coca-Cola. I mean, you get that nice little sip of carbonation, you feel good, it tastes good, boom, it's $1 billion business. So I look at everything as business, bro. How can I serve somebody? I'm the product. Now, how can I serve? So I just look at it like that, bro. If you got a girlfriend, how can I be a better boyfriend? If you got a business, how can I be a better boss? You just got to think like that. You can always be better, bro. You can always be better. That's my message to everybody out here.
Yeah, I fully 100% agree with that. And it's, whenever I do see someone that, oftentimes people that are complacent with their lives are almost lying to themselves.
Yeah, I can see
because they say that they're fine with everything, but
it's a story.
A lot of times when I have talked to people that have those 9-to-5 jobs or things like that, they feel very unfulfilled.
Yeah.
Like they're happy with things, but they know they can do more.
Yeah.
And that part of them, I feel like oftentimes they ignore when it comes to things. And
yeah, I agree, man. I agree.
It's almost like an inside voice that's like, dude, you need to get out and do something. Like,
but but you don't know how, and you're like, well, I'm doing everything right. My bills are paid. I have good credit and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yes, that's the focus, but there's another side of you that is waiting for adventure. There's another side of you that wants the risk. It wants it. It's the only way that you can grow. And if you're comfortable, you're not growing, bro. And that's the main motivation. Are you growing or are you decaying? So
yeah, exactly. So that again comes to the thing, guys, is like, okay, well, for those of you guys that don't know how to take a risk in your life, don't know where to go with your life or how to take a risk. Well, one, how do you look into things? Well, one, you can join his community that he has, wonderful community. So, but also pay attention to our videos. And I'm going to also be making future videos on how you guys can specifically make money. Like there's a lot of unique different ways. And if you really want it bad, you will find it online in order to find some information on how to make money. I'll just give like a couple examples right away here. So there's e-commerce, there's high ticket sales, there's a service-based business. You can have that, or you can do day trading. Day trading is very good. Now, if you find the right people and you know that know the statistics and everything like that, you can do matches. Matches are an easier way of making money, but you want to do it calculated. It's the similar with day trading, but you have to know the right connections in order to do matches with like sports or other things like that, right? These are some of the like really easy ways to make money. And of course, I say easy, but everything in my mind, I say that is easy because I want to say that I can do it and I can do it easily. Because anything that is difficult, anything that is hard, I like to say is something that I can't do yet. Okay? And then I push myself doing all the easy things in order to get to the hard thing. And now that hard thing is easy. So that's the way I like to put it. But inside of your life, of what type of risks you should do is start small, look for something, and then try it. Try it. Stick to one thing, pursue it, and then try to make a bit of money off of it. Because here's the thing. When it comes to money, people often has bad views about it, but money allows you to do things. It allows for resources. It allows you to provide. It allows you to be able to talk to others, go places, travel, and help others in individual positions, establish connections, etc., etc. It's a tool. But if it's wrong behind the wrong individual, of course, it's going to be bad. But that point aside, you guys have to take that initial risk if you're wanting that reward. But it's micro. And so you have to understand what are the benefits versus what are the consequences. Mm-hmm. And consequences can be both good and bad with things, right?
True.
So,
True.
Going on from that, what would you say, Dakota, is like what's an example of a risk that you took that maybe money-wise or something that you were like, I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to try it anyways?
One of the risks I took was skydiving, to be honest. I've always wanted to do it, but I was sitting in math class one time, and I was 17 years old, and my 18th birthday was, next month. And I was like, what is something I can do on my birthday? 18 years old, to become an adult, that could be a transformational experience. I thought about skydiving. So it was a risk, because obviously you can die. I talked to a couple of skydivers. They say you kill yourself when you jump out of the plane. You save yourself when you pull the chute. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And so I took the shot, man. And I did it, and it was the best experience I've ever had in my life. I've never had a taste of freedom as crisp as skydiving. And when I landed and my feet hit the floor, I was a different person. After that, after taking that risk, I was like, what was I afraid of? Was I afraid of experiencing life in this brilliant way? Because that's not something to be afraid of. Am I afraid of me, testing myself and my abilities? Because now I'm not. Now I want to take more risk. So that was the best risk I've ever taken, man. Jumping out of a plane.
So definitely like a life-changing experience that you have, but you wouldn't have had that if you wouldn't have took that risk and done that in the first place, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's just it's those little things, little risks that allow you to have yourself in a position to where you have experiences that you might not have ever had. And besides the money portion of things and taking smaller risks with that, you take risks, smaller risks in your life to have experiences that you're never going to ever have before. And that is so important. Like, I can't tell you, like, anytime that I've traveled or done anything like that, like, I'm like, oh, okay, we got into a completely new restaurant. All right, I'm going to take a little risk, and I'm going to order something completely different that I've never had before. I'm going to get the octopus, man. I'm going to try the monkey brains or whatever.
Whatever it is. You're right. Yeah, making a memory, man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't care if I don't like it, or if I do end up liking it, great. But if I don't like it, cool. I tried it. Now I know it's a horrible food, and like it's going to last in my mind, and I'm never going to have that experience again, and I'm going to be able to relate to that. See, that's a simple example of like a very small risk that has such a large impact in your life.
Yeah.
Right.
Your mindset too. I really like that you said that. That's a really good example of how people can think of risk in a positive way. It's not always that the risk is what it is. The risk is whatever it is. It's your mindset. Rain looks ugly on the outside, but it's helping the gardens and the fruits and the vegetables and the trees flourish. So it may not be what you want, but it's a necessary aspect of nature. And so risk is for the ones that want to test themselves. That's what risk is for. Risk, nature, the elements of life. I mean, it's up to you. If you want to, it's alchemy. If you want to transform, take risk. If you want to stay the way you are, don't take risk. It's your choice.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree with that. And because again, if you don't take a risk, well, then guess what? Either one thing's going to happen. You're either going to regress, or two,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to stay the same.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you guys that are listening to this, but I cannot be 80 years old on my deathbed and look back at myself and be like, man, I have so many regrets. Because I don't want to have one single stinking regret when I'm on that deathbed.
Amen.
Because
I like that.
if I don't take the risks right now in order to reach that, then I'm going to be looking at that deathbed and I'm going to be like, I wish I could have done this.
Yeah,
Man, I
yeah.
could have been so great. Man, I could have accomplished this or that. Man, I could have helped my family member. Man, I could have helped them get out of debt. Man, I could have helped all these different people or charities or other things like that. But instead, you didn't take any risks, and your life is gone, man. Your life is gone.
Late. Yeah,
You can't
you gotta die
get
with that.
time back. You can't. And people just, like, people don't even realize it. This is a risk. Your life is a risk. Your life is continuously going by.
Yeah, you're fucking right. And death is certain. You're totally right, man. Death is certain.
Yeah, like, people don't even know, like, their life is on the line. It is. But people don't, like, think of it like, oh, it's life or death, because we're not in survival situations anymore with our life, right? But time, we do not get back. And so that's what leaves that instance of survival and that reflection. Because if you are not that version of yourself, of a 7-year-old version of yourself, be looking up to yourself as if you were proud and that hero of that 7-year-old version of, hey, I'm going to be this person, then you have work to do. Then you have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, and even when you get to that point, you're still going to be taking more risks to go further and better and beyond that. So it doesn't end. You're always going to be pushing to become the greatest version of yourself. Because once you start down the journey, it's total freedom in terms of what you can do, what you can accomplish, and how many things you can go after in life. And just the thought of that, guys, that very thought of that version of yourself should excite you and get you initially motivated to do the things that you need to do on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
So think about that, guys. Reflect on that. I'm trying to think of the next thought here, but
No, you're good, bro. Just let it digest that, man. Just sit with that emotion, sit with that thought. It's so true.
Yeah,
a part of the beautiful thing about these podcasts and just talking to people that resonate with the same message is that we're creating, new ways of thinking, new neural pathways. Success leaves clues. The successful minds that have already accomplished it are showing us something. And if we act the way they do, think the way they do, we can achieve the things they have. So yeah, man, we just have to digest that thought and know that, no one's going to make it out of this life alive, but you got to take as many risks as you can on yourself, because the person you die with is the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with when you leave.
Yeah. That also reminds me of one of the quotes that somebody told me, like, if you were to die, if you knew that you were going to die in 12 hours or today or whatever, would you be happy with yourself? Would you be happy with yourself? Because if you're not, you need to do things. You need to go out in life, experience things. But probably in order to experience things, you probably need money. So that goes back to the root of looking in order to make those initial risks.
Yeah.
So that way you can have those things in your life. Because who knows? Who knows? You may unfortunately walk on the street the next day and you may pass away. You may get ran over or something like that. Things like that happen in life. And to discard the value of your life as an individual is quite ignorant of that person, because it's such a valuable thing. The odds of being human, there's so many different creatures and other things like that. The odds of being human are
it's funny you say this. I was thinking about this yesterday. Trillions,
man. And it's just, it's sad to see when people don't understand the value of their life, because I think in order to have the initial motive to not be complacent and not that is to understand the value of your life.
Absolutely.
Because if you understand the value of your life, you're going to have that basic initial motivation or to make that forward momentum in life.
True. Very, very true.
Yeah, because if they got into like a survival situation or something like that, well, either their will to live and their value of life is going to be low, and then they're going to end up not doing anything and end up dying, or they're going to end up feeling the pain of the hunger, end up feeling the pain of not being able to have something to drink, or maybe some people to talk to, or civilization, or other things like that, and they're going to get hungry, and then they're going to go for those things. Because now they're starting to see the value of their life and what it holds and what that really means.
That's very true, man. And a lot of successful people say that too. They're like, until you want success as bad as you want oxygen, and until you want it as bad as you want to breathe, you're not going to be successful. You're just not. You don't have the same willpower that you need to survive at that atmosphere. And that's what a lot of these battles are for. All these things, like we've all been smacked up by life. We've all been punched. We've all been hurt. We've all been, shattered in a way where our expectations didn't happen the way we expected. But that's not the point. Like, no one gets the life that they really wanted in some aspect, right? So it's up for you to create it. Like you said, we're humans. We're not just a dog. We're not just a bear. We're a fucking human being, bro. Like, we reflect God more than any animal on this earth. Like, we can create with a human mind. Everything that we have, this shirt, like these AirPods, this technology, it's from the human mind. And as long as you just keep advancing your knowledge and keep implementing it through your body, you can create a new lifestyle for yourself. And we're so young, man. We're so young. We have so much energy. You have nothing to lose. Don't have any excuses. If you're overweight right now, you can get in shape. I promise you. If you don't know what to do, you can learn. There's so much information out here, bro. Just believe in yourself. Just open the door. Because he who knocks, the door opens up. It's true. That wisdom has been here for thousands of years. It's true. He who seeks finds it. So, I mean, if you don't have what you need, you're not looking hard enough, bro. Because I don't have what I need. So that goes for me too. I'm not looking hard enough. I'm not doing enough. So you just got to keep doing it. 10x it.
Yeah, and for those of you that like some people I know, it's very hard to get motivation. So oftentimes some successful people will recommend this. Take some money, have some saved up money, go fly to a different country and a complete different environment, and you're isolated by yourself to challenge yourself and put yourself in that survival position of like, I have to do this because my only way back home is to do this. And some people need that type of motivation in their lives.
Yeah, they
need that pressed motivation that's going to come like, this is live or die. Yeah. This is live or die. Because if they don't have that, then they're going to fall on their face and they're going to fail. And then they're going to be wondering what they did with your life. And, well,
it's so true. When you get that fire under your ass, man, you'll do more than you ever expected you could do. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and especially if you want to, like, let's say if you had like a daughter or something like that, or like a family member, like, and they were sick in bed and stuff, and you need money to provide for them. You're going to try to do everything you possibly can to try to get the money to help out that family member or that daughter because you love them. And that's where part of your motivation should come is like, is out of love for what you can possibly do, what you can provide for people that you can talk to, and out of love, respect for what you do as well and your value for your life.
Solid point, bro. I like that, Aspen. I like that.
Yeah, because a lot of sometimes some motivations for people oftentimes come from like fear, but fear and obsession can be toxic traits of motivation. And over a long run, you need to have better motives, more pure motives.
I like that you said that because I was meditating yesterday. And this is no joke. Like, I was meditating yesterday. And to anybody that meditates, you know exactly what I'm about to say. Like, you'll be sitting there and your mind will go blank and you'll have this emotion and then a thought will come up, you know, like a thought that was like inside your unconscious. And it showed me that real motivation is purpose. So like if you have people are like, I'm not motivated. Okay, well you don't have, you're not seeing your purpose. You're not feeling the purpose, because motivation is, you know, wintering. You'll have it. It will come in like a huge intensity, or you just won't have it. That's motivation. But purpose is something that you can lean on even when you're hungry, even when you're broke, even when you have no hope and it's dark. You have no path. You have purpose, bro. You'll know what to do. You always know what to do. Even if you don't know what to do, you'll know that you can't give up on your purpose. So that's something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So real motivation is purpose. You know, I studied the Yoga Sutras, and it's a lot of this wisdom from thousands of years ago. And they talk about the human mind and how they actually use it to your advancement of your evolution. And it says to not rely on the cognitive abilities of your mind, but to use it as a tool so that your spirit can speak through it. And that's kind of what Christ was telling us when he was on earth.
Yeah.
Is like, you know, everything that I do is because of the Father. You know, through me, he can speak. Through me, he can willfully act. That's how the miracles were happening. So you have the potential to create miracles in your life. And those miracles are basically based off you believing in yourself. People will say, oh, that's phony shit. Like, believe what? But it's like, yeah, bro, if you don't believe that you can walk into that fire and save that child, you really think you're going to walk in the fire and save that child? Like, and that's how you have to look at your purpose. That child is your fucking goal, bro. It's your dream. It's your legacy. You're going to run in that fire. I don't care if I have third degree, fourth degree. I don't care if my arm falls off. I am fulfilling my purpose on this earth. And that's how you got to be, bro. Until you're there, you're not where you need to be. And it doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter if you're at the destination that you want to be at. That's not the point. The point isn't the destination. It's about the journey, bro. You become something new by going through the process. So just step in the creative process and stick to it. And then you're going to learn more. You're going to be more. And that's the whole point of this whole thing, man. Risk. It's a part of the creative process. So you not taking a risk, you're stepping out of the process, bro. In my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah, because so many people, like when it comes to taking risks, you guys got to have the right set of mind. And if you don't, you will fall flat. You will fall flat.
You will, man.
And
I've smacked myself. I've done it before.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's part of the learning experience too. Is,
it is, bro.
You learn from those things. You learn from those things.
And you know, it does get easier. I just want to say this to your audience, you know, because it's an honor that you're allowing me as a guest. You know, one thing that I've noticed is you got to get the momentum. You know, once you get the momentum, it's easier to keep the momentum when you got it, bro. You take a skateboard. You ever rode a skateboard downhill? And you just picks up speed, bro. And it just gets so fun after that, man. I mean, you get that speed wobbles and you're like, oh, shit, you know? But like pushing when you're on the flat ground is a bitch. Pushing uphill is even worse. So once you get up there and you got the momentum, it just gets easier. Same with running a business. You know, once you got your marketing down, once you got your sales pitch down, it's just keep finding those leads. Oh, then when you have no sales and you're going through a dry spell, you got to critique how you're going to get that momentum back. Because once you got the money coming in, okay, now I can do paid ads. I can start doing things to take leverage off my own will, and boom. You know what I mean? So that's the way you got to look at it. It's momentum, bro. Take enough risk in your life to get that momentum, and then once you got that momentum, the risk is gonna be an opportunity. It's gonna flip. You're not gonna think about what you're gonna lose. You're gonna think about what you're gonna gain, and that's why these millionaires and billionaires are winning out here, bro. They're buying the businesses. They're buying the apartment complexes. They're buying the grocery stores. Man, they're running the world, and we're out here just eating fucking crumbs. So
yeah, that's why I like to. This would be another episode for you guys, but why I refer to life as the ultimate video game. So
love that. Yeah, mold your character, mind, create your character.
yeah.
I love that. I made a YouTube video off that. That's huge.
Yeah, man. It's a big thing. Like people don't even recognize it. And they're like, how dare you to say that life is equate to a video game? No, it's an analogy, okay? You need to understand. It's like, life is much more serious. Yes. But if you like dedicate your time to the very fact of like, I'm going to play this video game, and I'm going to, because you have to learn how to hold the controller. You have to learn how to hold a controller. You have to learn how to press the keys on the keyboard or hold the mouse or whatever, etc. like that.
Yeah.
Like, those are the basic fundamentals. And with anything, if you were learning guitar or anything like that, you have to learn the basics of doing that, right? It's the same fundamentals, but it's about where you're investing your time. Are you investing your time into something that's actually going to equate into something into your life that's going to make something bigger and greater? Or are you putting it into something that is going to equate to nothing? And that's why I like to use the analogy that life is the ultimate video game, because if you were to learn all the stuff from YouTube, learn all the stuff from other places that you have, from mentors, other things like that, right? And you take the time and learn how to do the basics, well, guess what? Now you have that forward momentum. Now you're upgrading in your life, and you're investing your time into something better and more worth it, and you love your life more instead of sitting in front of that screen because you can't create something in your actual life.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true, man. The solid analogy.
Yeah, that's why I love it. But you guys need to have that mindset in order to take risks. You have to. You have to. So, that being said, guys, I mean, that's kind of how, like, you shift your mind behind everything and be able to take the risks necessarily to upgrade in your life. But not only that, but I also want to kind of give some examples of, like, are there risks that are too risky in your life? What would be, like, some examples that maybe you could think of, Dakota, like off the top of your head?
For sure. I think, one risk that is too much for people to do, right off the bat is, like, you don't want to risk too much of what you physically have, because you don't want to lose what you need to keep going. Like, you don't want to risk what you have in a month in a day, because then you have 29 days to suffer. You know what I mean? So you got to risk what you have for the short term to make it where you advance yourself. You got to think about advancing, because it's just like you brought it up. You brought up a really, really good point. Don't take all of your money to the casino. Take a portion of your money to the casino and take that risk. Is it still a risk? Yeah, it's still a risk.
Yeah.
You taking all your money is still a risk, and you taking a little bit of your money, there is a risk. So don't be stupid. Like, you got to know, like, take a bigger risk when you can rely on your own skill set. Until you have the skill set, don't take those risks, because through those risks, you're going to develop skill set. And so I think when it comes to money, it's better to focus on in taking a risk on a new business that can build more money, rather than taking a risk to use the little money you have to try to duplicate it. That's my opinion. I think it's better to take a risk to become more than to do more, because when you become more, you'll be able to do more. So you got to take things on the backwards, and a lot of people are just like, oh, I want to get there now. Okay, but that's why you're a one-hit wonder. And that's why I am going to be remembered when I die. So what do you want? Your choice, bro. All the people I look up to are dead, and I still remember them. Why?
Yeah.
All the people you look up to, not you, bro, but like most of society, is icons, bro. Like artists and shit. No one's going to remember them, bro. Let's just be honest. I mean, some of the artists, some of the music, yes, but some of the real people who made an impact through politics and mental health and religion and culture, those are the people that we remember. Those are the people that guide us. So, I mean, that's just what I think, bro. Take a risk on something that is going to make you happier, make you a better person, make you look in the mirror and be like, you're the best, not in an egotistical way, but in a way that I'm fucking proud of you and I know who I am. Tupac said when he went to jail, he said, nobody messes with me, not because I'm Tupac, but because when I look in the mirror, I know who I am. It's like a soul thing, bro. Take a risk on knowing who you are inside your soul, because that's something that no one can take from you. Everyone out here is trying to be clones of each other. Oh, stop that shit. Stop the celebrity effect. You are your own celebrity in some way. Yeah. No one can be you. So I say,
I hate when people are like, "Oh wow, look, it's Brad Pitt." Oh,
dude, it's
another human. Like, can you imagine being in that position and having like so many people come up to you all the time? Yeah, of course they're annoyed and they're just gonna be like, "Yeah, fine." Because they're so used to it, annoyed, and they're like, "Man, I just want to sit down in this restaurant and eat food like a normal human being."
Yeah, well, yeah, and then one of the things that pisses me off about that kind of mindset of looking up to somebody as an icon is it like I said, as above, so below. So if you're giving them this confidence by looking up, then you're looking at yourself as down here. So it's
Yeah.
creating insecurity by making them seem like they have all the confidence. And so
Yeah.
it's a twisted system that has been created before our eyes, and that's the
Yeah.
matrix. And so if we start looking at each other as equal, then you can look at a celebrity and be like, okay, well, he's got all this because he is this and this, but if he didn't have all the media outlets and the investors and the record label, he'd be just like me. It's just like a
Yeah.
cop when he pulls you over, like take off the uniform and you're just like me. So when you look at
Yeah.
things like that, you have more confidence. You know, you look at Putin and you're like, okay, he's just like me. He just positioned himself in Russia. You know what I mean? What's the difference?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, dude, it's a big thing, and I just don't understand those people that do that, because in reality, there is only one celebrity that we should look up to, and he's above and beyond everything and anything that we can see.
Yeah.
So, and for those of you guys that may be ignorant in that sense, I'm talking about God. So,
yeah, big G, man. And you know, it goes back to what you said, the identity crisis, bro. I actually think that the identity crisis is the biggest thing that we should focus on as a man. The identity crisis. You know, when you're taking risks, it's for your identity. You know, your identity is huge, bro. When you get hired at any company, it's because of your identity. When a girl wants to have sex with you, or she wants to marry you, or have children with you, it's because of your identity. When you meet God, and He's destining where you're going to go, where your soul is going to rest, it's because of your identity. So that's the main thing we should focus on. Don't forget about the cars, forget about the houses, forget about even your body sometimes. It's about your identity, bro. How you see yourself is self-hypnosis. How you see yourself, people are going to now see you that way. And you don't got to lie to yourself. It's just you got to focus on it. If you look at yourself and be like, oh, I'm ugly, think about that thought that just made you think you're ugly. And be like, okay, well, maybe if I take care of myself, I'll feel more confident. And then everything snowballs. Everything in life is snowballing. So if you just make sure you're positioning yourself in the right place to just better yourself, it's going to go in the right direction. And if right now you feel insecure or you feel like you have no energy, just focus on taking the bad habits out right now. If you feel like you're going the negative, focus on the negative. Take the negative aspects out. Then when you're equal again, add the positives. And it's all math, brother. Don't overthink it, you know? Stop with the media. Stop looking for advice. You have it in your heart. You have it in your gut. You have it in your mind. You know, I'm sick of people trying to make themselves feel superior and think that they got the knowledge, they got the information. It's all inside you. And all of our prophets have kept telling us that. You know, just if I could rant real quick, like Malcolm X, when he was alive, he said, seek knowledge. You know, when Jesus was here, he said, heaven is within us. It's like everyone's been guiding us right here in our gut. And I feel like that's actually why people are kind of not taking risk and not doing what they want to do, because they're not trusting themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Because God lives within us, and so does the Holy Spirit. So
yeah, that's our confidence.
That's where all wisdom comes from. So
exactly. We need more people like that, man.
Yeah, exactly. And more onto the point, guys, of like, are there any risks that are like too risky or anything like that? Well, I like to put it in two spectrums. Ultimately, I like to say no, there are no risks that are too risky, but there are specific instances because you can heal throughout time and money can be replicated. So that being said, there are instances where it's like you need to make calculated risks and think about what are the benefits or the consequences, because I'll give a very, very good example here. My risk that I took in order to get into the place that I am today, like, and I was explaining this to Dakota the other day, like, I was quitting my job and my bank account was negative $600. And then on top of that, I had to get loans and other things like that to pay for things. And then I was just like, it was adding on my stress. And I'm just like, I'm going home. I'm going to try to do this. And I got to give it every single thing I got. And from that, I've been able to create success, and I got out of debt, and I got all my other things. So it's like, you got to think about those things. I had to give myself motivation. The consequence was like, I'll be in debt. I won't be able to pay for it. I'll have to have bankruptcy. But I took that risk in order to make myself a better version of myself.
Love it, man. And now you look back and you're like, that was the best decision I could have made.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah.
you gotta
it's
see
much
things
better than doing
whole process, man. That's really good that you said that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's much better than doing wooden insulation for railroad houses.
Dude, and that's what I need to get in people's heads, bro. Is like it's gonna be harder to take the risk in 10 years. Like
Mm-hmm.
you got to do it now, man. My girlfriend told me that. She was like, "Listen, you're getting super successful at your sales job, selling. I was selling car parts to all the dealerships in America. Solid
Yeah.
position, bro. I was in a very lucrative spot of the economy. I was finally tapping it over 100K. I was going to be making 200K in 6 months, and I
Yeah.
left. And everybody would be like, "Why the fuck did you do that?" And I did it because I know I wouldn't have in 5 years. So,
Yeah.
why not do it now and build it from the ground up and take more risk now? Because do you really want to be doing what you were doing for the rest of your life? And if the answer
Yeah.
is no, then quit now. Start working on something now because it's going to take a long time anyways. So you better start now.
Yeah. Yeah. And especially for those of you guys that are like in financial like positions or whatever, say you're living paycheck or pre-check or whatever, obviously think about what you can do in the meantime to try to make extra money in the time that you do have, and you need to sacrifice time to do that. But at the same time, you guys need to also be thinking about the bigger goal, the bigger vision, in order to take the
Always.
risk necessary to accomplish that goal.
Always.
So make those calculated risks. There is no risk that is too great. Period. It's all about calculated risks.
Yeah. Solid point. And if the risk is huge, you can always break it up into smaller little risks that all go the same direction. So never think a risk is too big. Never. Oh, I want to move to this state. Okay, excellent. Get a remote job so you can make money wherever you want. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you got to think like that. You got to put all your eggs in one basket, but make sure all your eggs, your job, your lifestyle, your culture, your religion, your girlfriend, everything is in one position, a vehicle that you can take where you want to go. Because if you got this over here that's holding you back, you got this job, you got this house, you have this loan, you're going to be tangled in a web, bro. You're never going to be able to leave. And so, that's a huge, huge aspect. I like that. There's no risk out here that's too big for you to accomplish.
Yeah, and I also wanted to clarify on this, and as I did earlier, and through what Dakota was saying too, is for those of you guys that think you're smart out there, well, there is risks that's too great. No, because guess what? The worst thing that can possibly happen in your life, death. Okay, and for me, I don't know about you guys, but I'm a Christian, so I got that covered.
Yeah, 100%, man. You do things with the right intention, and you're good. I always say that. Like you can, man. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, and I've turned those consequences into opportunities because I've learned from them. And so, if you think about it, was it a consequence? And so that's part of the risk, bro. It doesn't always look like that on the outside, but I mean, it's an internal transformation. And so, like you said, you're Christian. To the people out there that are Christians too, you just got to keep trusting the Holy Spirit to guide you, and never have doubt, man. Because God did not create a spirit of fear. You just got to remember that. Control your mind and keep your mind in heaven's gates, because that's what we're born to be. We know where we're going, man. Don't let the world distract you.
Yeah, so keep all those things in mind, guys. Keep all those things when it comes to you taking little minor risks in your day-to-day life. You need to understand that time is going to flow, things are going to happen. So taking bigger risks can bring greater things into your life, but you need to have the right mindset in order to do so and make those calculated risks in your guys' life.
Absolutely.
So take all those things in mind, guys. Take all of it to heart. Recognize it. Take those risks necessary in your life to grow. I want to see you guys grow. I want to see those yeses in the comments to saying I'm taking a risk now, today, to quit my job, do something different, and accomplish something in my life, right? Those are the things I want to see, guys. So appreciate you guys' time, and hope you guys like this podcast, because we will be making plenty more. So this is the first episode, and we got more coming.
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure you having me.
Yeah, absolutely, Dakota. We'll definitely have to collab make more. So.
Oh, you already know we're gonna make more, man. Maybe even bring on some more people too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, guys, and like I always like to say with my tagline is dream big, live high, and take names out there, guys. I'll catch you all later.